frames a second, which is kind of a film look. You could choose that if you want more slow motion or faster. If you're doing sports or something, you could do 60 frames. But typically, I shoot at 29.97 or 30 frames a second. Now, once you pick your frame rate, and so pick 29 frames a second, 1080p is perfect, is then your shutter follows the 180-degree rule, which means if you're shooting 30 frames a second, you want your shutter speed at 60. If you were shooting 24 frames a second, you'd want your shutter speed at 50. Again, it's double whatever your frame rate is. And so the cool thing about shutter priority is it's going to always keep our shutter at 60. Therefore, the motion will always look good in the video. And then finally, we're going to go over to ISO here and actually put it on auto. So that way, the camera will adjust the lighting brighter or darker accordingly. Now, the final thing to note here is that this lens is, we're picking it because we're shooting these wide room shots and it's really good for vlogging. It's the 11-22 Canon lens. But because the aperture is f4, it's a little bit dark. So the ISO might go up a little bit high, but we're just going to live with that. I mean, it is what it is, and ISO is where we're going to get that lighting. And here's what I mean, is that if you want your video quality to look the best, you probably don't want to go over ISO 400 or 800 on this camera. If you want to just kind of vlog and take people with you and you don't have extra lighting, well then it might go higher and it's just going to affect the image quality. One thing to remember about ISO is that lower is going to be not as much light being let in, but it's going to be a better image quality. If you can get enough light, or you can shoot outdoors. The higher you go, the more grainy the image is and the more it falls apart. So sometimes you need to go higher to get the light, but keeping it as low as possible will keep your image quality as high as possible. And with that, we're ready to shoot. Okay, so I'm about to get